Welcome to the Parody, where we tally up the victims in our favorite media. I'm Chelsea Rose, and today, while the Time Heroes cinematic universe goes on with its 3.5-year-long hiatus, I'm gonna go ahead and cover some of the Time Heroes films I glossed a bit over. And what do I mean by glossed over exactly? Well, there are a few Time Heroes films I did just supercut parodies on, and I want to get to those in full detail. I'll also go ahead and recount 3 Time Heroes movies that, while I did commentary parodies on, I think said parodies could be a bit better. That means that hopefully over the course of December, I'll recount Crisis, Frost, Ember, Rebel Part 1, The Dark Knight Apocalypse, and The Renegade. And also the subject of today's parody, Fallen Kingdom, released in 2019. Fallen Kingdom is the first chronological entry in the canonical Time Hero cinematic universe. It takes place many years in the past, during the first steps of the Universal Crimson Invasion. That means that way later on, it'll intersect its story with both Danny Parker and the Moon Wars. Because while it has a few characters that are unique to this film only, it mainly focuses on both Drexen and Crimson's gang. Both sides only intersect during this movie, but later on Drexen will get to meet Seth Pellicer, and Crimson will soon invade Cincinnati, Ohio, where he'll meet Danny Parker. I'd say it's a good way to find out how both parties ended up going their separate ways. It's shown at the end that Crimson will wait 100 years to get to Earth, while Drexen stays on his planet for a little bit longer, as shown in the Trinity. And as for how I think it manages to shake all these elements out, I think it's a good movie. That's all I need to say. Let's get to the kills. The movie begins over the planet Defentia many years before the Crimson Invasion reached Earth. Defentia unintentionally was much more prepared for an invasion like this, signaling that we have a war scene. That means that starting with Reclaimer's Piss Blood, I'll add a whopping 34 kills to start off the count. Sure, a lot of them come in the form of bodies, but we also get a few unique ones outside of that. I always be a big fan of the guys that get aquatically electrocuted. The last bodies I'll count here are a few extra defenders when Reclaimer and Crimson meet up for the first time. Reclaimer cares nothing more only than to damn every single part of Crimson. They fly towards each other only to battle behind a title card. On Iris, King Veruzer summons his boys to him because this peace is what all warriors strive for. Specifically, peace with King Reclaimer Defentia, even though, wouldn't that technically be off limits? He tells Drexen not to question him, thus why he's going alone on this trip. You know, like King to King. He departs for his trip only to get interrupted by Drexen. Veruzer promises that he'll return. He's just doing this trip to do some, trade negotiation. However, Drexen wants to go with him, only so he can train to become king himself. Veruzer accepts it and the two set off to Defentia. Lord Crimson is also going to Defentia, and we get to see his Crystal Meth Theory spin-off series, Young Crimson. Turns out, as a young lad, Crimson believed in a thing we like to call mercy. His dad, Crovis, gristled at the idea of mercy and beat him pretty hard for it. Jesus Christ, man. It awakened, this power to teleport in front of his dad? Okay. He comes back above his dad just so he could get the jump on him. However, this time around, I won't be putting Crovis on the count, considering that canonically, the rest of this planet dies from some sort of extinction event when Crimson's not there. 2 of his underlings, Death Adder and Vortex, alert to him the existence of Defentia. And since Crimson's trying to expand his empire, why not go for Defentia first? Veruzer and Drexen land on Defentia to meet up with the expectant King Reclaimer. The main gist of all of this is that Defentia has been falling into shambles for quite a while. But as Reclaimer tries to keep everybody's hopes up, the resources just keep on getting lower and lower. Thus, if Veruzer and Reclaimer start trading between planets, maybe those resource rates will skyrocket. You know, because you don't want to be governing over a bunch of starving people. All 3 of them and Endpoint's mouse make it over to where Reclaimer actually resides. Inside Reclaimer's palace is a legendary power that no one's ever gonna see until right now. It's the power of negotiation. While that's happening, Crimson and his boys make it closer to Defentia. However, Death Adder speaks to him some words that'll make him tremble in his own universe-wide ethno-state. It turns out that the Kalinar, Reclaimer's people, have been known as to be ruthless warriors. However, because of Crimson's past, that's not gonna get in his way one bit. That leads us into a flashback of his previous invasions, and now count 3 kills from the planets that he successfully conquers. So his goal? Basically just mass genocide. Death Adder thinks the plan is bogus, but he quickly gets mugged by destruction. That really does a whole lot of nothing, so Inferno comes in to take the deal himself.
Guys, look, I know you all hate me, but just let me speak my shit, yo.
Oh my god, just let this guy fucking die.
Vortex walks in on all this and tells them to stop playing around because they're about to get the Defensia very soon. All that leads to is everyone there just dick-riding Crimson except for Death Adder, who just thinks he's a giant fool. We reach the inside of Reclaimer's palace, where he has a cool-ass lake and a cool-ass crystal meth chair. He wants to call off the rivalry both their fathers had and instead calls for a sort of peace. And what that boils down to is a lot of trade and a lot of protection. Outside, this old man looking guard spots some transparent PNGs worse than the ones in my thumbnails. Obviously, Defensia is all about JPEG, so he calls out some defenders to see what's up. According to Reclaimer, the reason why they need protection is that years ago, a prophecy told him about some death and destruction by an outside force. Recently, there have been some kingdoms. That sounds really familiar. Yep, turns out the Crimson Invasion was prophesized all those years ago, and right now, Inferno, Vortex, and Destruction are trying to get through these defenders. The lead defender tells Vortex to watch your tone, and when he does it, he gets real up close and personal to him. So of course, Vortex zaps him out of existence and kills the 5 defenders that were with him. That leads to another group being flashed by Crimson's mothership. This time it sends out 3D models that turn into really fast PNGs. It ends up bombing this group of 26 defenders, all of which I'll be putting on the count. Even more defenders pop up out of nowhere so we can get a deadly-ass war scene too. During the scene, I could count 27 kills, 17 defenders, and 10 invaders. Sure, a whole lot of it is segmented, only showing a few fights at a time, but it doesn't make it any less hard to count. At least you still get a few cool deaths out of it, though. Crimson's pretty proud of it before Reclaimer gets told of the ongoing battle. Turns out his prophecy has come true. Below the surface, we see a few defender bodies before a defender and a civilian are murdered. I'd say the civilian has it way worse. And then Inferno and Destruction take out a few more defenders. Just don't ask why the number is very obviously wrong. just ignore it. You few, get out of the inner core of my planet right now!
Dude, Destruction, this is why we should have killed Death Adder!
King Veruzu tells the other two to leave just so he can take on both the aliens by himself. After a humongous black screen, we catch back up with the opening of the movie. It's a bit more abridged, but thankfully, I don't have to recount anything. However, the build-up is really piss poor since it only leads to a minor sword deal before Reclaimer gets set into a wall. However, some laser cannons put Crimson down long enough so we could see the fight between Drexen and Vortex. But even then, that gets interrupted by me adding more people to the count. I knew Death Adder wasn't entirely disposable. While 2019 time here, you kinda have to do something for me to talk about these fight scenes more. You know, like putting Reclaimer and Crimson in a standoff in his own lair. Or doing this weird blurry shit both of them do to each other at the same time. Or hell, you could be like King Veruzu and add some main characters to the count. Firstly, when he threw Destruction over to the side, it actually ended up with him being impaled onto this, let's call it a tree. And then after that, a minor fight with Inferno leads to his soul being sucked out. Oh yeah, what about Reclaimer? He's doing pretty good in his fight with Crimson, if I'm being honest. But Reclaimer, you didn't factor in Crimson's monologuing. Because he has Reclaimer in this weird-ass state, he shows him his past. That past does surely not include Drexen getting the electric shit beat out of him. As Reclaimer sinks to the bottom of the water, I guess something awakens in him while he's down there. So that means the fight can continue as a fist fight. The fight seems all fair until Vortex starts double teaming on Reclaimer. That gives Crimson the opening to choke him out, and since this is the last time we see him until fucking Time Heroes, I guess this is where King Reclaimer officially dies. Even with that death for Crimson, he still learns about the deaths of Inferno and Destruction. Even worse for him, King Veruzu's people have come in as reinforcements for the Kalinar. Upon the order of Death Adder, everyone started retreating. Well, you know, those that can make it. One person that could make it, if he was actually an invader, is Drexen, who's confirmed to be alive. What's good for everybody and my count is that the war is over, which means I shouldn't have to count. Oh, god damn it, Fallen Kingdom. While Death Adder has successfully launched a retreat, Lord Crimson himself isn't too proud of it. Listen, man, I can explain myself. I hate you. You should die. Get out of the leadership position, my guy. In actuality, since he doesn't want to see the Crimson Empire fall off, he'll have to fall off. The movie ends in this less fancy class trial room where he's executed for treason. I told you not to get on that guy's bad side. Let's just hope the residents of the Earth won't do the same thing. How many people died in this not Minecraft parody? Let's find out and get to the numbers. This time around, I counted 130 kills of Fallen Kingdom. The victims consisted of 89 men and 41 extraterrestrials, which gives us this 2-to-1 ratio of a crystal meth chair chart. With a run time of 56 minutes, that left us with a kill on average every 25.85 seconds. I'll give Amethyst Flamethrower to Destruction and Inferno, as they're both main character kills that are on screen and kinda actually kick ass. Broken Pistol will go to... Oh, that's weird. I can't think of a death to give the Broken Pistol. I'll try to think of one anyways. No, that guy got decapitated. No, I can't give it to that guy. No, I like the guys that got electrocuted in the water. No, I can't give it to them. Oh, I have an idea. How about one of the guys that got killed in one of the big fight war scenes? Let me think. That guy. Oh my god. How many fucking people died like this? Okay, maybe that guy way in the back. He just kind of randomly spawns in. And that's it. Fallen Kingdom was released in 2019 and is the first entry in the canon THCU. Next up, we'll be moving on to the second entry, Crisis. Until then, I'm Chelsea Rose, and this has been the Parody.
Hey, I'm hiding in your Wi-Fi.